Hello, my name is Datricky Huynh, and I'm going to be talking about women in the Middle East, Iran specifically, and the information technology sector. For the content of this presentation, I will be covering the background, quality of life, focusing on the culture, ecological, political, and social aspect. Finally, I'll give my final analysis on women in the Middle East, the effect of the information sector. A little background on the matter. Many countries in the Middle East are segregated. The main cause of this harsh segregation is Sharia, which is a religious law. Sharia is the backbone of the civil system in the Middle East, and it is unfavorable in regards to women's rights and their position in society. Their rights are limited. Also, 20.8% of households in Iran have internet access. With the increase in literacy rate, shows a correlation in declining birth rates as women in the Middle East are trying to break free from old traditions. Culture are still restrictive towards women. The first aspect of quality of life is culture. The workplace faces a shift in the balance of gender relations. Old norms and values conflict with modernity and globalization. There is an absence of women in the information and communication technology field, as they do not have access to equal employment opportunities. Employed women within the fields are often undervalued, and the lack of representation in the information technology role may prevent them from opportunities. Gender mainstreaming in the information technology sector is a process that encourages corporation and government to increasingly hire women and to incorporate women issues into technology production, work, and play. The concept is quickly challenged in the Middle East and North Africa, where the status of a woman is challenged by cultural ties, traditions, diverse value systems, and power structure. Also, due to lack of familiarity with technology or its emerging role in local society, interest in the ICT field have been growing in the Middle East and North Africa. The second part of culture is the education. Coeducation was banned and sex segregation was imposed in keeping with Islamic principle, Sharia. There was an expected drop in attendance, but parents from rural areas showed great willingness to send their daughters to single-sex schools. Attendance rate of girls rose. Education for girls did not stop at secondary education and went on to seeking higher education, increasing to over 60%. With rising educational standards among women causes blame in declining birth rates and marriage rates. Despite the record decline in growth rate in Iran and drastic increase in the literacy rate, women's participation in the ICT labor force has not followed at the pace women desired. Lastly, childhood. Many Iranian women are breaking free from the mold by taking the initiative of blogging. It is to help Iranian youth voice their human rights through cyberspace, and Iranian families provide school-aged daughters with cell phones to ensure safety and security. There are intentions to establish their identity through means other than motherhood. Now, the ecological aspect of quality of life. Information and communication technology play a significant role in rural development processes. Rapidly growing gap between urban and rural economy has reinforced the ICT sector and creating an equal society. One negative on the implementation of ICT centers would be the disruption in agricultural areas. Some ecological challenges are met when attempting to implement ICT centers. 1. The scattering of villages throughout Iran with the average of 23 households per village. 2. The adoption of information and communication technology by the rural settlers themselves, and villagers living in rural poverty cannot afford to own personal computers. The political aspect. 36 universities across the country decided to ban women from studying 77 subjects due to government pressure. Effect of higher education. This shows unfavorable governmental policies, oppressive patriarchal system, and rigid religious doctrine in the Arab world, oppressing the quality of life women in the Middle East through political means. Lastly, the social aspect. Women's participation in the labor force has maintained an upward trend. Unfortunately, they still face discrimination rooted in the old traditional system of rigid social stratification. that has been present in the Middle East. Women are at times denied equal access to education and equal opportunities in recruitment and promotion, given that social, economic, cultural, and other forces constrain women's ability to make strategic life choices. A final analysis on women in the Middle East and the information sector. There are various aspects of quality of life that affects the lifestyle of women in the Middle East, including ecological, political, social, and culture. Within the Middle Eastern culture face problem in education, childhood, and workplace development. The increase in literacy rate is beneficial for women who are pursuing an information and communication technology career, but rising literacy rate alarms the government. Ecological changes are made to better the lives of rural villages.